How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to Lightsaber Radio. And we got a topic that I kind of been looking at today. I kind of did a little bit of research because we was discussing it on our little group chat that me, Garrison, and CJ do. And so how can I explain this? It intrigued me enough that I wanted to start really doing some research because this is something that I think everybody is super excited about, but at the same time, we might have a misconception of what this is going to actually be about. And I'm talking about the Acolyte. So before we jump into that, we're going to do the intro, and then we're going to get into a little discussion about what the Acolyte actually is.
Here we go.
This station is now the ultimate power.
Oh, what the hell?
Did you press? What happened?
I don't know.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Last we will reveal ourselves.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now in Lightsaber Radio. If you only knew the power of darkness.
Here it comes. Let's go.
You are now in Lightsaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
There we go. That time it worked.
Yeah, that time it worked. What's going on, everybody? We got Lenny in the chat, Star Wars team leader, Chris, Clint. What's going on, everybody? So I thought this was a topic that kind of needed to be covered because a lot of stuff has been going on and being leaked, and I was looking at YouTube and I seen, there was like 4 people that put a trailer for the Acolyte, and there isn't no trailer yet. They haven't released no trailer. Mm-hmm. But it just intrigued me because I'm looking at things as if, like, what is the Acolyte really going to be about? Like, because we're all assuming that the Acolyte is going to be about the Sith. So I go on Disney's website, and I go on several other websites, and I'm checking to see who got the information. And Disney actually has a description of what the Acolyte is going to be about. And when I read this description, I got kind of like, I got like 2 different type of emotions. I got scared because I'm like, fuck, I don't want another show like this, or, I don't want a show based on this. I thought we were getting a show based on this. And I think, and I told Garrison earlier, I think that this is I think that Star Wars or Lucasfilms and Disney is clickbaiting us with the name Acolyte. Because this is the description. Let me give you guys the description of what Star Wars describes the Acolyte as. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. A former Padawan reunites with her Jedi master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated. Now, here goes the key factors in this, okay? First, it's a mystery thriller. So it's going to be the fucking Sherlock Holmes of fucking Star Wars. Because that's what a mystery thriller is. It's going to be like the new
Batman, but Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's how I'm thinking. Like, because they said like mystery thriller. So it's still got to be exciting, but which part of me is excited for that because we haven't really seen like the investigation side of like what the Jedi do. So that's kind of cool, but it's not like as exciting as what we originally thought.
Then the second thing is it says a former Padawan. Well, I'm jumping. It's in the final days of the High Republic. So during the final days of the High Republic is roughly around 150 to 100 years, right in that era sometime, before the Phantom Menace. I certainly hope not, Chris. So Chris says basically your Brotherhood book, lots of Jedis investigating and not much action. I'm really hoping that's not what it's going to be. Because, we got tricked. I think the name tricks us. Now, I'm not saying that it's not going to be about the Sith. But you got to think about the time. So this is going to be the time period of Tenebris and Plagueis. Tenebris, or however you say his freaking name, is Plagueis' master. So this is going to be right around their time period, right when Tenebris is coming in to take Plagueis as his apprentice. And if you go back off the Plagueis book, you kind of know that Plagueis was a bitch too, and he deserved how Palpatine killed him because when his master was trying to save him, he dropped some rocks on him and killed him. So it's kind of messed up, but it's during this time period. Now, anybody that doesn't know anything about Tenebris, or however you say his name, he's the one that designed Darth Maul's ship.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had the cloaking device and all the stuff that Darth Maul had on his ship. He's the one that designed that. He was a ship designer, a big ship designer for the Republic and, you know, whoever else had the money. He did a lot of high-end type of ships, and that was kind of his cover, and he was a Sith in the background. But he is also the one that came up with the notion that they had to get somebody in the Senate. They needed to attack the Republic from within, and they had to get somebody in to be a Senate. And actually, Plagueis was the one that was actually supposed to try to get into that role and become Chancellor. And then they knew once somebody could become Chancellor. So he's the one that put everything into motion to get things going in the direction where Palpatine could take over, or it was supposed to be Plagueis when he was doing it. Because even if the apprentice was the Supreme Chancellor and he was in control of everything, the master would be the one calling all the shots.
Right.
But what scares me about this is it says a former Padawan reunites with her Jedi master. Her Jedi master. I think we were all under the assumption that Amidala, how you say her last name?
Amandla
Steinberg or
Amandla
Amidala,
Stenberg?
however you say it, Steinberg.
Amandla Stenberg
was going to be a Sith. And I don't think that's who she's going to be. I think she's going to be the former apprentice, the former Padawan that reunites with her Jedi master to investigate a series of crimes.
I think
go ahead.
I think we were all looking forward to seeing the Sith because that's what we were all expecting. And it's starting to make me think maybe we're not going to see a whole lot of Sith. We might see like evidence of Sith, but we might not see a whole lot of Sith.
Well, I think
at least not the main character like we were expecting.
Yeah, I think because the Acolyte, we're thinking that the Sith are going to be the main character. You know, we're going to see some Sith shit. But what the show is describing is we're going to be following this Padawan or this former Padawan. So she might have left the order, or she's a knight now, or, you know, it's very undescriptive. But that we're going to be following her and this Jedi master as they are investigating a series of crimes. They're going to be the Sherlock Holmes Jedi, and we're going to be following them as they're investigating these crimes that are being committed by Plagueis and Tenebris, or however you say his name. I think that that's what it's going to be. Because everybody's talking about, you know, you keep hearing online, it's all female cast, it's an all female cast, and it's not. We got Amidala Steinberg, or however you say her name, Lee Jung-jun from Squid Games, Manny Jacinto from Top Gun Maverick. Yeah. You got Defan King from Logan.
Charlie Bennett.
You got Jodie Turner-Smith. You got Rebecca Henderson. You got Charlie Bennett. And then you have Dean Charles Chapman, and then Annie or Carrie Ann Moss from The Matrix. So it's not like there's three men right in the cast that they have put out online. Yeah. And then, so I can see the men playing these Sith. Because at this time period, there's not a woman master during that time period, because Tenebris's master was a male too. So even if it goes back before him, but the timeline is roughly around 100 to 150 years. That's the end of the thing. Well, so that's right around Tenebris is the master, and then Plagueis becomes his apprentice during that time period.
Well, if we think about it, I guess I guess it kind of makes sense because, like Chris says, it takes place during the High Republic, where the Sith are kind of like, because in Phantom Menace, like nobody's seen the Sith for forever. Like it's been hundreds and hundreds of years. So if we do see the Sith, they're not going to be doing much.
Well, like I said, like it says in the description. In the description, it says investigates a serial crime, but the forces they confront are more sinister than ever anticipated.
So I think they might find like evidence of Sith, but I don't know if they'll ever come face to face with Sith. And if they do ever come face to face with the Sith, they'll probably end up dying.
Well,
because word doesn't get out to the Jedi Order, because the Jedi Order has no idea about the Sith until Darth Maul pops up.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing, too, is well, they kind of know because Yoda said it. The Sith, two there are, a master and apprentice. Yeah, so which one did we kill, the master or the apprentice? Yeah. So they kind of know that there's probably some out there that the Force has done.
No. They just know that there's the rule of two. They don't know that there's any out there.
But they don't. I don't think that there's really any concept. I think they still believe at this time that the Sith are extinct, that they wiped the Sith out. But I think kind of Yoda kind of knows. Yoda's not stupid. He knows too much about the Force. He knows they're probably out there plotting somewhere in the background, but he's thinking the same thing. They always just destroy themselves. That's why they came up with the rule of two or whatever. But I don't think, even if they do find, because we know that Maul, if you go by the Maul books, or if you just even some of the comics and stuff like that, Maul killed other Jedi before he ever encountered Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. I think he killed 4 or 5 other Jedis. That was part of his training, was to kill these Jedi. So I think they kind of know that the Sith is out there, but at this point, they might not know what's going on. And they're working right with Tenebris and Plagueis. But one of the things that I kind of am excited about, because this could lead us all the way up to Palpatine. And Palpatine all the way to, you know what I'm saying, like what happened in his prior life within more seasons of it. Because the name Acolyte means Sith follower. So if we're following the Sith, then it would go from Tenebris, Plagueis, from Plagueis to Palpatine, and we should get that background story because everybody's been asking for Palpatine's background story. How did they find him? Was he born? Was that his actual parents, or was he adopted by the parents on Naboo? Was he planted? Was Palpatine somebody that was created by the Force by Plagueis? Right. Because Plagueis was in on that. You know, Plagueis was into all the Sith alchemy and using the Sith to create life. What Palpatine told Anakin was the truth. That he could create life and keep people from dying. Because he kept himself from fucking dying. Because the immune don't live that long. That's why they're constantly changing. Because Plagueis was actually supposed to do what Palpatine did. He was part of the banking clan. His parents, or his father, was the head of the banking clan. Then he started the whole, he started a whole new organization. He was doing a lot of stuff. That's why Palpatine had so much money and was able to do so much, because he had the banking clan behind him. Plagueis is the one, or Tenebris was the one that got the Trade Federation. He's the one that designed their fucking ships. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these things, like a lot of the things Tenebris got going. So I could see like the investigation of these series of crimes, because the crimes would be, I know in the Plagueis the book, so he fights some Jedi in a theater. I think it was a theater, if I remember correctly. I think it was a theater. But he fights some Jedi and he kills them. He gets wounded. That's why he has to use his breather mask. Mm-hmm. So they know that at this point, the Jedi have to know that Sith are around. Lest they don't know he was a Sith. But like, I swear he shot one of them and he cut another one down with a lightsaber. So these would be the crimes that the Padawan and her former Jedi master would investigate. I could see.
I just don't think the timeline's up right.
Nah, because the timeline is so the New Republic, or the old the High Republic era ended. It ended 100 years before Phantom Menace.
Right. So Plagueis
So it has to. It
Probably
says
isn't
in the
around yet.
final days of the High Republic. So that would be closer to that 100 years. By that time,
Well, it's supposed to be
Plagueis would have been-
132 BBY.
Huh?
Plagueis is Plagueis around in 132 BBY? I don't think so.
Let's look it up. Let me
I think this is before Plagueis. Well, you look it up and there's nothing. Plagueis died sometime between 50 and like
Oh, wait,
32 BBY.
Wait, I have Tenebris's thing up right now, so let's look at Tenebris.
Well, because
And I might be saying this shit completely wrong. It's Darth Tenebris, Tenebrous, so Tenebros, some shit like that. Okay, so let me look at his stats, and it'll kind of let us know when. So he was born somewhere between 247 and 167 BBY. He dies in 67 BBY. But we don't know how long. Let's see. Master, unaffiliated Sith Lord, Order of the Sith Lords.
Kyle, you know what Acolyte might be about? This former apprentice. Because I know that description might not describe everything. You know what I mean? So what if this former apprentice and her master go and investigate the Sith, actually find the Sith, and the former Padawan ends up becoming the Acolyte. So maybe she is the main character.
Well,
and she just
and
ends up
see-
joining the Sith.
Let me look at something, because it says right here, apprentice. It says immune disciple, Darth Plagueis, and then it has another one, Darth Venomous.
Maybe
Venomous.
this
So
is
let me
Darth
look up this
Venomous.
Darth Venomous to see if it's a female.
But Disney could always change it. Like
Yeah,
you,
Disney
you
can
know,
always change
Disney's
it.
the type of company where if it's a guy, they'll change it to a black female.
No, it's a male. So I mean, but they could change. I mean, they could make Tenebris a female. I mean, that's
Like,
Disney just
Disney-
does stuff like that.
Disney doesn't care.
But that's another thing, Lenny. Yoda could be in this because Yoda is around during this time period. Yoda could actually be in this series. We could see Yoda telling the master, go find out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? What is going on with these mysterious killings or whatever. My thing is this. I would love, I have a feeling this is going to be a Jedi-based series and not a Sith-based series, and they're clickbaiting us by calling it the Acolyte. Like, it might be the Acolyte type of thing, but I don't know if it could be. And in all technicality, an Acolyte can also be a follower of the dark side. It doesn't necessarily mean a Sith. It could just be a follower of the dark side. The Acolytes in The Rise of Skywalker are all them people that are up in the building, that are chanting and doing all that weird shit.
You know what it could be? It could be Darth like Jean or whatever. Maybe she could become the Sith be the Acolyte, and so we still could have a female Sith because she could still join them. She might start off as a Jedi and then join them, and it could be like Darth Jean, because I'm looking at like this timeline, and it's obviously not canon because not all these characters are canon yet. But the Master of Darth Tenebris was Darth Ramage, and the Master of Ramage was this female Darth Jean or whatever.
Yeah, but look at Darth. That would put it too far back in the timeline. That would be like mid High Republic era or like mid New High Republic era.
Maybe
High Republic era was like 1,000 years.
Maybe.
Or
That's true.
something like that. And he was, Darth Tenebris was born somewhere in between 247 and 167 BBY. That's what they say. And he's a Bith, which is kind of crazy. You know what I think about? Like, Palpatine was like a little bit racist towards like all the other alien species, but his master's master was a Bith. His master was immune, and then he turns into a alien racist. Like, dude, your master wasn't even human. What's wrong with you? Like, why would you do that? Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And actually, because let me double check this, just because I was reading off the legends, because even though, yeah, they don't have no information on him on the canon side, which we know that he is canon because they made him canon because he was one of the Imperial troopers. The name, it was Darth Bane, Darth Revan. It was like 26 of the Sith Lord. I think he was like, what does it say? I know it says it on here. Let's see, 30. Let's see, he was the 26th Legion.
Yeah, so
Dubbed the Tarbrennov Legion, as the Sith history was kept secret from the rest of the galaxy. So, like, and it could even, I mean, in all reality, could even start off, if it's 100 years back from the Phantom Menace, it could start off with Tenebris, and then
I think it's too far back for Tenebris. I think it would be Tenebris's master, Ramage,
and that
or
would
even
be
his
farther
master,
back,
Guile.
though.
No, because Tenebris dies around like
66 or 67 BBY.
67 BBY. So, I guess that's 60 years. He could have been like 6. Well, because this takes place in what, 130 BBY? So that's like 90 something years.
From what information I found, it said in between 100 and 150 years before the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
There's not I couldn't find nowhere that gave like an exact date. Not anything that was credible. There was people say it was like 300 years. Like, dude, you're tripping, man. That's like not the end of the fucking, you know what I'm saying? That's like middle of the, or, I mean, but we also got to understand, what is Disney's timeline? Like, what is Disney looking at time?
Right.
We are also, we're speculating.
And Disney doesn't have to follow any of this. Like, Disney can just bullshit and make their own character.
But I'm saying, if they follow the timeline, and I know that they're kind of pushing the High Republic era, because the new High Republic books, they're pushing this era because they got stuff coming out that has to do with this era. I think The Acolyte's one of them. I think one of the movies is going to be based on this timeline. There was some. What was I listening to? I think I was listening to Rebel Force Radio, and they were talking about the timeline of one of the movies. I think it's they had some inside information on one of the movies, not Taika's movie, the other dude that they've been pushing. I think that's supposed to be during the High Republic. Oh, and this is something else that's scary that I was thinking about earlier. And actually, I think they brought it up on Rebel Force Radio. Bob Iger, he basically made a statement that's saying that they're going to cut back on, and I guess there was some articles. I think I did read an article about it, because I think, so for 2023, Disney pumped 50 projects that they pumped out, and they were cutting that down to probably around 35 to 40 for 2023. Mm-hmm. And we know that Warner Brothers, when they started doing this DC thing, there was stuff that was movies that were already done, like finished, that they scrapped for DC shit. So, and really? Bob Iger is known to scrap shit. So we might not even get the Acolyte. You know, it's definitely a possibility.
I don't know about that.
Well, this is the thing. From what I looked at, because I'm a numbers person. I try to look at numbers and look at statistics and shit like that, because statistics and numbers show a lot of things. And numbers don't lie. And you look at what Disney brought in. The Mandalorian did great. Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, for new subscribers to the streaming service, didn't do that well. And I think Bob Iger and then Andor didn't do that well. Not in new subscriber count. Because if you got to think about it, they called it Andor. If you don't know anything about Rogue One, it's not going to draw you in as a new subscriber, because you're not going to come to watch it. You don't know anything about this.
Right.
It's not, they should have called it like, you know, building a new republic or building the rebels or what they could have called it, whispering rebels or behind
Rebel
the
Origins.
whatever they could have called it.
Rebel
They called it
Origins.
Andor. So like, who the fuck is Andor? Like, if you don't know about the story, you're not gonna know who Andor is. It's not gonna draw in new fucking people.
That's fair.
You know. Luckily that it got such a good rating overall, and it's been just everybody's been talking about it, that if somebody goes and search Star Wars, they're gonna learn who Andor is. But it's scary for me to think that Bob Iger could pull the plug on any one of these things because they lost money on all the productions that they did, and they didn't get the subscriber count, which the predictions was 2024, 2025 is when they would restart recapping and making money off of the streaming service. That was what their predictions was. And I know it's only 2022, but like when you're losing money, Bob Iger got to come in and say, okay, because what's his face, Bob Chapek or whatever, he just wanted to fire a bunch of people and keep things moving the way that they were. And they were like, dude, that's not the way you fucking do shit. Like, you just don't fire everybody and just start all over again. Now you got to hire new people, sign new contracts, do all this. It's going to be more money. That's why they brought Bob Iger back. So I'm kind of scared to see what might happen within Disney and Lucasfilms, because I know there's some stuff that's on the slot that comes out throughout Disney in general that I want to see. You know what I'm saying? I want to see, they got some, not just Star Wars stuff. I want to see some stuff, which I don't know why they came out with a Willow series. Like, I just don't see like I watched the first two of them I thought
you liked it. You told me to watch it.
This is the thing. I'm not saying that I don't like it. Like, I like the movie. I like the 2 episodes that they put out. I mean, they weren't bad. They were good episodes. Like, and they explained, and it started like, some time jumped by, and it started, where about the time period it is. They didn't try to, de-age what's his face, the dude, what's his name? God damn it, who plays the Ewok?
I don't know.
And plays R2D2.
The actor that plays R2D2.
Whatever, he's Willow. So anyway,
is he?
Yeah. So anyway, he's. Like they didn't try to de-age him or anything like that. They actually went to the timeline and they showed like all the stuff that happened in between. It was good, but I just don't see the purpose in it. Like, why you should have just left it alone. There's like no purpose to bring Willow back. Like, there's no story that you could tell that I really care to know. You know what I'm saying? You should have just left.
I've never
Willow
seen
alone.
it, so I don't know.
Go back and watch it. It's a good little. It's cute. It's a cute little movie.
Yeah, but I could see Disney like just like finding out like, oh, the Acolyte is not going to fit in the Star Wars timeline. It's not going to mesh. There's going to be plot holes. They'd still push it through anyways. I feel like they're too late. They're too far publicized.
I don't think so, because Bob Iger is. I mean, I'm not saying Bob Iger because I'm not sure, but I know that Warner Brothers for DC, they scrapped a shit ton of product. They had movies that was
because
completely
Warner Brothers
done.
wants to make good shit. Disney's just pumping out money.
But Disney's not making no money. That's why they brought Bob Iger back, because Disney is losing money. Like, statistically show they had a fucking crappy year last year. All the content that they dropped out, and they had a crappy year. They actually lost money. Because you got to figure productions, everything that they're pumping out, that shit costs money, and then they're not relying on movies, people going to the movies. They're relying on people subscribing to Disney Plus, and not the people didn't describe like 2020, 2021 when Mandalorian first came out. Dude, shit, they made a shit ton of money off of people coming in and subscribing to Disney Plus. Everybody's like, dude, I can just go on Disney Plus and watch all the Disney shit. Now now come 2022, now the hype of all this streaming, you got to buy all these different streaming services. Disney dropped. Even though they put out great content, they dropped in their subscriber count, and that's why they brought Bob Iger back. Cause they like, dude, we gotta figure something out. This dude just losing us money. So I just have a feeling that some of the stuff is gonna get scrapped, and we already know. I mean, the Republic, the The one about the flying fucking
Rangers,
whatever,
or,
Rebel, Avengers, Rebel, whatever it is.
Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron. That shit got scrapped.
That's
and
true.
They were
that's
like,
true.
the story was already written. It was already done written. All they had to do was basically start filming it, and they scrapped it.
Yeah,
so
but
you
this
know
one's
that
like-
they'll scrap shit.
But
Shit that they've already
is-
announced that they're coming out with. They'll scrap it.
But they've already released the cast, and I feel like if they scrap a TV show where they've already cast a black female as the lead, people are going to get really upset. And I don't think Disney's ready to face that kind of backlash.
Why they didn't give a fuck about facing the backlash about taking Finn off the damn.
Because there was no
Poster.
backlash. Nobody
because
cared.
they was gonna make a shit ton of money off of that.
Yeah.
That is true.
This one, I feel like they've already cast a black female actress as the lead. So if they backed out now, a lot of people would accuse them of being racist and sexist.
Yeah, I definitely could see that. I definitely could see that.
Yeah, so that's my only where like I think they're too far to back out of this one.
I just, I'm fearful because reading this description, I'm fearful that they clickbaited us. Like I've been saying, I feel like that they're clickbaiting us and they're making it seem like it's something that it's not. Because, I mean, we kind of, I don't know. We kind of got that with Book of Boba Fett. They told us this was going to be about Boba Fett, and that's not Boba Fett. That wasn't Boba Fett. That was somebody totally different. You know what I'm saying? They tried to play the story off that wasn't who the character was created to be. That's not who Boba Fett is. So they kind of clicked. I wouldn't say it was overall like 100% clickbait, but it was kind of clickbaity. This is, from reading the description, looking at the timeline, looking at what's going on, this is a time period where the Sith are being hidden. They're hiding. They're not doing Sith shit. They're not out whacking Jedis and, you know what I'm saying, lightsabers, big
They're
giant
doing
battles.
Secret plotty shit.
This is a time where they're hiding. So you got these Jedi out here looking for some mysterious shit that's going on, and I think that that's what it's going to be about. I think it's going to be about this Padawan, this former Padawan, and her master looking for whatever these crimes are, and it's going to be more of the Sith in the background, and we're going to be following another Jedi show. Which I don't have a problem with a Jedi show, but I'm looking at the writers, I'm looking at the cast, I'm looking at some of the things that's going on, and I'm like, dude, it just seems to me that they're going to put out, it's going to be another Jedi show, and it's not going to be about the Sith. I mean, it's going to have the Sith in it, it's going to have, some, but I don't think that that's going to be the direct line of the show. Yeah. And that scares me.
Or even because we talked about Acolyte. Acolyte doesn't necessarily mean that they're part of the Sith. They just follow the Sith teachings. So maybe we're not even going to see the Sith. We just follow some amateur guy who likes the Sith, who considers himself a Sith, who's doing Sith shit, but it's not the actual Sith. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that's gonna really suck if they do that. I really want to see some shit about the Sith.
Because it did say Acolyte, so it could potentially just be someone who's like following Sith teachings, but isn't like the Sith that we're talking about, like Sidious's master or whatever,
Oh god, that's gonna suck. That's gonna be
so it could just
terrible.
be like some like mysterious, this guy's trying to become a Sith, and they stop him, and that could be the show.
Or
That,
we actually went outside the realm that it could be a dark Jedi.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It might not necessarily even be a big bad Sith that we're thinking. It could
I'm hoping it's going to be a big bad Sith,
dude.
But I don't know. Just reading the. Just reading that, it just made me feel like, dude, this is not going to be what I assumed that it was going to be. And I know that's my fault just as much as anybody else. But I think everybody was on that same type of mindset that it was going to be about the Sith. And that's not what the description describes that they put out. It's going to be fucking Jedi Sherlock Holmes. Them actually fucking going out here and like investigating some shit, some crimes, and then they run into like some dark side users. that are causing these crimes, or it's not even dark side users, somebody that could be impersonating the Sith. Because we know that Bane, we know that Xana used people to make the Jedi believe that there was like some factions of Sith followers or some shit out there that wasn't even that. They were just some fucking asshole pirates or
That's what I feel like
criminals,
this could be. This could just be some like asshole who like is trying to be a Sith, but it's not the Sith, you know?
Oh man, I have such high hopes for this. It just seems like everything that they're coming out with, like Ahsoka, like Maria was saying.
I don't think Ahsoka's
like,
going to be good.
Like it might not be what we think it's going to be. It might, and the messed up thing about it is, like, I know the Bad Batch is going to be good. The Bad Batch, I mean, I don't know how they can mess that up. I mean, just the first season was just great. The Mandalorian is season 3, from what I'm hearing and some of the little information I've got so far. Mandalorian season 3 sounds like it's going to be really good, because Bo-Katan is the protagonist in Mandalorian 3.
Wait, the protagonist or antagonist?
Which one is the bad guy?
The antagonist.
Oh, antagonist. So
Okay.
she's the bad guy in this. She's like basically, and it's not like she's the bad guy. Like she's the bad guy. She's trying to get the Darksaber to you know what I'm saying, reunite the Mandalorians, but she's going against Din, and he's just trying to get he's trying to redeem himself between the people that can't take their mask off. But it's been announced that she's going to be the bad guy of the series, which kind of sucks, because it's like, what happened to what's his face? We know he's going to be in there, but it's like, does he transform into like a Mandalorian? Does Mando take him in and make him not a part of the Empire anymore, and convert him, or what? We don't know what's going to exactly happen yet, but it's been released that she's supposed to be the bad guy. So it's like, all right, I think that there's a good story to tell there. I also got some information that there's not going to be a lot of fucking, a lot of Luke and Ahsoka and stuff in there. Just from some background rumors that I heard, which these could be all falsifications, people just saying shit. But the little bit of information that I've got that I'm hopefully is right, is going to be basically Mandalorian based. And it's going to have a lot more Mandalorians in it. And Bo-Katan is the bad guy, and Din is trying to redeem himself. That's what it's going to be. That's the main storyline, which I can see that storyline going really, really well. And I just don't think right now Mandalorian is other than Andor, Mandalorian is what's carrying Star Wars on the streaming services, because that's Disney Plus, because that's what gets the most views.
Because it's awesome.
So I just don't know. Where it's going to go. Real quick, let's jump back here.
The chat.
To the chat. Let's see. Clint says, I agree with Kyle, because they are hiding. What is it about what about a Dark Jedi? Yep. I'm still going to like it, most likely. Star Wars team leader said the Bad Batch trailer today looked good. And honestly, I haven't even looked at the Bad Batch trailer today.
Me neither.
I forgot that it came out.
We'll have to watch it on Saturday.
I seen it on TikTok that somebody said, new Bad Batch trailer. I just didn't ever get to watch it. Oh, of course, we're going to watch everything. Anything that comes out with Star Wars, I'm going to watch it. But I'm worried that it's not going to be what worries me is we get something like, if they do come out with it, if they do come out with the Acolyte, and it doesn't do good, then it's going to be something like Kenobi and something like the Book of Boba Fett that we don't get a season 2. We don't get anything, because they kind of put out something that everybody anticipated was going to be something different than what it actually was. And it's going to cause them to lose money. If they lose money on any productions that they put out, Bob Iger is going to start pulling shit away from it. He in a comment said that he doesn't want to do a lot of stuff. he wants to have more creative stuff. More creative and less, you know what I'm saying, just pumping shit out as fast as you can get it done type shit.
Good, which is good.
Which is good, but at the same time it sucks because I'm already going through Star Wars withdrawals and Andor has only been over for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I'm already going through withdrawals. I want to see some more Star Wars stuff. Which is kind of crazy because, I mean, I survived the fucking dark times. But I was also a lot younger and we didn't have the type of content coming out that we did. You know, we're getting 2 or 3, 4 different, you know, Star Wars things happening in a year. You know, and another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, has anybody seen the little things about Vision? Because I can't find them. Has anybody else seen the new stuff? Somebody said that they were doing
About
something
Vision?
that was stop motion. They got one that's a stop motion thing.
Oh, like claymation?
Yeah, like stop motion or whatever. Star Wars team leader said, okay, wait a minute. Lenny said, I'm still going to watch it, but I'll just sit back and watch no judgment. I'm hoping for a vigorous type of story, but follow more Sith teachings along the Jedi Ranger investigation, maybe a Force vision. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. That would be, I mean, I'm down for the thriller part. You know, I like, you know, them type of shows. You know, I like Sherlock Holmes. You know, I like that, you know, like trying to figure it out type shit. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just having a feeling that it's not going to be what we think that it's going to be, or what we had the impression what they was going to be. Star Wars, Ventress. Nah, are you talking about like Ventress, Lenny?
Ventress.
Or am I reading that wrong? Star Wars team leader. Anybody watch the tested video of Adam Savage doing the autospy? What is that? Autopsy on the Lola toy. It was cool to see how it works. No, I didn't watch it. I didn't see that. Like Ventress? Like Ventress wouldn't even be born at this time. Ventress is probably what, in Phantom Menace, she's probably what, 30 maybe? Maybe 30? She might even be younger than that. Because she ain't that old when in the Attack of the Clones. I don't know. It just kind of scary to me what... I just don't want to be... I'm kind of... in a sense that, like I said, I feel like they're clickbaiting us. And I assumed I have such a high standard of it, and I was super excited about it, and then it not come out to be that's going to piss me off. And I'm scared that if Disney loses money on anything that's coming out now, that Bob Iger might start cutting some of the Star Wars shit and we limit the things that we get of Star Wars. And Bob Iger knows, he's smart enough to know that you can take, and Star Wars fans are that dedicated, that he could take 2-3 years and not put out no Star Wars, and we're all going to come right back in instantly as soon as some Star Wars comes out. So he doesn't have to rush anything. Which is a good thing, but at the same time, we kind of got into this place where, you know, you got to give us at least 2, 3, 4, 5 Star Wars things in a year now, because that's what they've been pumping to us. Even if they ain't been good, it's exciting that new Star Wars is coming out. And then you take that away, it's going to kind of suck. Or that they just cut Lucasfilm completely out. If it ain't making Disney money, because there's, like, I guess somebody was talking about Apple buying Disney, and Bob Iger came in.
There's no fucking way.
Bob Iger came in and said that Apple's not buying Disney, but they're also not buying anything else.
Disney's not buying anything else?
They're not, no big investments right now. They're not looking at doing anything extravagant anytime soon. There might be cuts involved on some of the productions. This was all in the interview he did, I think, with Hollywood Reporter. It's either Hollywood Reporter or I can't think of the other one. He did an interview. They were talking about it on Rebel Force Radio. I know this is kind of outdated because this actually happened like Rebel Force Radio's episode was like a week ago or something like that. So I know it's a little bit outdated, but this just recently happened that he was talking about all this stuff. So because I seen the rumor that Apple was buying Disney, I'm like, dude, Apple ain't got enough money to buy Disney. You know how big Disney is, how much money Disney makes. But I guess that whatever happened, looking at the numbers, like I know they took a loss last year, but like I'm like, dude, it's not that big of a loss. Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? That another corporation could come in and do a corporate takeover and buy them out. You know, especially somebody like Apple. I know Apple's pretty damn big, but come on. It's not Disney. Jesus. Disney fucking just the theme parks alone probably make more than Disney.
There's no way Apple buys Disney. Like, Apple doesn't have enough money to buy Disney, I don't think.
I mean, you saying what? They bought Lucasfilm for what, 4.3 billion? They bought Marvel for what, 8-point-something billion? They bought Fox and and Discovery Channel. I think them was a couple billion a piece, or you know, whatever.
We're
it was.
Talking like
just in the
70 billion.
They'd have to come. It'd be close to $1 trillion to buy Disney. They probably make $100 billion a year just off the theme parks.
I wouldn't say $1 trillion.
It would have to be somewhere close to. It would be up there, because you got to figure what Disney's probably making like $100 billion a year just off the theme parks. Do you know how many people go to the theme parks? Jesus, and how expensive that shit is. Dude, people are freaking. You got to figure for a family of four is like $3,000 or $4,000 for a weekend. You know what I'm saying?
So we're talking just in revenue. This last quarter, they got $20 million in revenue.
That's it?
Yeah.
I
or
thought
20
it was more
billion. $20 billion in revenue. But that's revenue. So that's not all the expenses they have to pay.
Yeah. That's why they're in the hole right now, because they didn't. Yeah. But are you looking at in total, or are you looking at the?
That was just last quarter. That was last quarter.
Is that for
Disney's net worth, like, is about 168.04 billion, is what it says.
So somebody'd have to come with $250 million to even think about.
Come close.
I mean, and that's just revenue for that quarter. You got to figure for the year they probably made close to $500 billion. So you're gonna have to come with some fucking money if you want to buy Disney.
I guess it's all their assets too.
Yeah, all their assets, all the theme parks, all the. You know,
it's billions. I don't think it's trillions. I don't think you're spending trillions to buy Disney, but I think billions for sure.
Maybe $1 trillion. Because you got to figure if they made $500 billion last year, just general overall the whole year, if they made $500 billion, even if they took a loss, so say they spent $600 billion, you're not coming in and buying them for, you know what I'm saying, less than $1 trillion. I just don't see Disney fucking selling for less than $1 trillion. Because you got to think about that's just for 1 year.
Yeah.
You make five.
We're not there. No, Disney would sell for less than $1 trillion. I think $1 trillion's a little bit much.
But you got to also understand, we're talking about corporate. This is corporate. So all somebody would have to do is buy, you know what I'm saying, a certain amount. If they get 51% of the stock, then they just do a corporate takeover. They don't even necessarily have to buy the company. You know what I'm saying?
They just buy stocks.
It's not like.
Well, stocks are like $90 a share right now.
But you got to buy, you know what I'm saying?
You got to buy a shit ton of stocks.
You got to look at how many stocks they have.
I know.
Because they might have 1 billion stocks at $90. That's $90 billion just to buy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot to look at. But there was a rumor going around that I guess Apple was going to buy Disney. And Bob Iger said that's not going to happen. Apple's not buying Disney. And then he said, but we're not looking to buy any major franchises or anything like this at this time. He also said that they were also looking at doing cutbacks. They're not planning on firing anybody, but they're planning on doing cutbacks. And that's what kind of worried me, because I know Warner Brothers just scrapped a shit ton of shit, and they're basically, for DC, they're starting over because DC was losing Warner Brothers money. But they didn't want to sell DC because that's their biggest asset. So what do? They scrap a bunch of shit and start from scratch and chalk up their losses. But Warner Brothers is another company that got enough money that they can do that. Disney has enough money and they have enough revenue coming in from other sources that they can do that, but they're going to do cutbacks. And since Lucasfilms, from what I was reading, lost them the most money, I see them doing cutback within Lucasfilms.
Which might not be a bad thing.
It might, if it gets rid of bad content, I don't have a problem with that. Don't come
I'm
out
okay. Yeah. I'm okay with being more patient and spacing out the Star Wars if it means all the Star Wars we get are really, really good.
But I would hate to see them. We know the Andor's coming out. They're already filming Andor. They're already filming the Acolyte, which doesn't mean shit. But hopefully that we don't. They got to come out with Andor.
They're coming out with Acolyte. They're not canceling Acolyte, Kyle. No way.
But at the same time, I don't want to see something that's going to, you know what I'm saying, that's not, don't tell me that this is going to be, don't name it the freaking Acolyte and then it be about two Jedi's investigating shit. Like, I want to see some Sith killing people. I want to see some red lightsabers. I want to see, I don't want to see another Jedi-driven show. We got that this year. We got that with Kenobi. It was a Jedi-driven show. Even though there was Sith in there, kind of. But it was still a Jedi-driven show. I want to see something more about other characters. There's too many. I guess we kind of got spoiled with Tony Gilroy making Andor and making it about other characters within the Star Wars universe that we haven't really got a good close-up with. I mean, I'm kind of excited. Hopefully they come out with another Solo or a Solo season. A series on Solo. I would love to get more in depth with that character. Find out more about his past. Find out what I'm down for that. And it's not that I have anything against the Jedi. I love all the Jedi shit that we have now, but I think there's other characters, and Andor proved that other characters do well. That you can bring out other characters and show us new forms of Star Wars. And it will work. They're good things. It was good. We have The Mandalorian, too. The Mandalorian is doing great, and it's not Jedi-driven. And like I said, I don't have nothing wrong with Jedi. Jedi and lightsabers and all that, I love that shit more than anything in the world. I'm open to seeing new things. I want to see new people, new situations, new shit. You know what I'm saying? We got 9 movies about the Jedi. You know what I'm saying? We don't
I don't think the Acolyte is going to have as much Sith as we're wanting.
That's what I'm having a feeling that it's going to be more based on this Padawan and her master, or this ex-Padawan and her master, researching and finding out who is causing. Not to say that we won't see the Sith, if there is Sith in it, doing the bad things that they are investigating, but I just don't think that we're going to see as much of the Sith as I thought it was going to be, based on the Sith. We're watching what's going on through their eyes and what's happening behind the scenes that we don't know about. And I don't think that that's what it's going to be now. Reading that with the description of it by Star Wars, I don't think that they're going to, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, which makes me think, is this going to be, it risks that show might be kind of slow and boring.
Man, I certainly hope not, man. That's the one show. I'm super excited. The 2 shows that I'm super excited about. Reading this stuff, kind of oh man, really, don't do that. And then everybody bringing up last Wednesday on what happened with Ahsoka, or what everybody thought about Ahsoka, is the same shit that I've been thinking. So it's the 2 shows that I'm super excited about seeing. Because I know The Mandalorian is going to be good. just because the other ones have been good, unless they really are just idiots and just screw it up. I think the Mandalorian, if it's not great, it's going to be a really good show. It's going to be a really good season. And I know the Bad Batch is going to be good just because we're with new characters, you know, and I love the way that it is. I just don't want to see nothing turn out the way that they ruined Boba Fett and Kenobi. I don't want to see that happen like that. Not that they're bad shows, because I don't ever say that they're bad shows. I just don't think that they. I don't see them doing. They just weren't what I expected. You know, I thought that they would be way better. I think they were kind of rushed. I think they were kind of, you know, forced onto the fans instead of really breaking down and telling us a story that we really wanted to know. Like, they had their place. I love Book of Boba Fett, all the CGI and action. I love that they did that, but it had no story. It was cool to watch, but it didn't really have no story, and it didn't tell us, like, they changed who Boba Fett was. Kenobi, it was the Reva show. It wasn't really about Kenobi. Kenobi was like the secondary character in it. And that's not what we wanted to see. We wanted to see something based on Kenobi. Like, I want to see Kenobi on the screen as much as possible. I want to see Ewan McGregor doing Kenobi shit. I don't want to see him being some punk dude that's hiding like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though we know that that's what he does, but I just think that they could have done it better than what they did.
I agree.
And that's what scares me. Like, don't build up this hype. Oh my God, Kenobi, like, everybody was so excited, and then we're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, do it like Andor. Andor was like what nobody was expecting, and it blew us away.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett were like, this is going to be huge, and it was like, oh,
I mean, and like, the crazy thing is, if you watch the 2-hour breakdown, did you ever watch it?
Yeah.
It was way better. They should have just made a
I
freaking
still didn't
movie.
think it was great, but it was
way better. The pacing was better. You seen more Kenobi. There was way better stuff in there. It was just better. They should have just made it a movie and didn't even put out a series. They could have cut it down like that dude did to 2 hours. I think it was the 2 hours and 16 minutes. Yeah. It was way better. He just cut out all the slow, flat moments that just was pointless to have in there. He just cut it down to an actual something that is enjoyable to watch. Like sitting back watching Kenobi as a series, and I went back and I watched all of these multiple times, and I do that just for a simple reason, because I like to see what else see things that I miss, or maybe I was too harsh on something. And I go back and I watch it the second time, and I'm like, I was way too harsh on that. That wasn't that bad. That was actually a good part. I see where they were going, because sometimes you miss things. You know, nobody's perfect. Shit. An editor, when they edit a movie, they watch that damn thing 300 times. You know, which I don't know how they do it. That would suck so much. But, you know, I've watched all of them multiple times. And there's things that I missed. There was things that I know I'm too harsh on. Like, 'cause I just completely crushed Book of Boba Fett when the first time I watched it. And the more I watched it, the more I enjoyed it. You know, it was like, this is enjoyable. It's just not good. It's just, like, the special effects, the stuff that they experimented and they tried to do, they were all cool things. I mean, it was some cool shit. There just wasn't the story that we wanted to see. So that's what made it bad. There's no story that we wanted to see. Not even that it's a bad story, because it could happen. But I just don't think it's the story that the fans wanted to see. We wanted to see Boba Fett. I'll kill you. You know what I'm saying? That's what we wanted to see. We didn't want to see the guy that saved the town. You know, we didn't want to see the basically we got a cowboy movie with a bunch of special effects. Cowboy comes into town, saves the town from the bad guys. That's what we got.
I don't know. I did like the whole Cad Bane, and what was that other dude's name? The guy who had Boba Fett's armor before him. You know what I'm talking about? Fuck me. What's his name?
Why can't I think of his name? Come on, Lenny. What's his name? Clint. What's the guy's name? The actual
Look,
cowboy
hold on.
dude in there.
Cobb
Bad
Van.
boy.
Fuck
Yeah.
me. Cobb Van.
I don't know. I just do not want the Acolyte, or I want the Acolyte to be just good. I want Ahsoka to be good. Yeah, the Marshal.
We'll just,
Yeah, I
guess
just want him
only
to be
time will
good.
tell.
Because I kind of, like I said, I kind of know that the Bad Batch is going to be good. I just don't see how they can mess the Bad Batch up. Like, how can we know that we're going to get 15 episodes? 5 of them's going to be filler episodes, and they're going to just take us some cool place, and something cool is going to happen, and we're going to see the Bad Batch doing Bad Batch shit. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be saving people and trying to figure out how to stay hidden from the Empire and keep Crosshair from killing them. You know what I'm saying? We kind of know that that's going to happen, but it's still going to be fun to watch. I know that The Mandalorian is going to be good just because they bringing back the directors. It's the same writers. They're just coming out with a different story. We got a whole new advantage point with Bo-Katan being the antagonist and Dan trying to redeem himself. These are all good characteristics within a story. I don't see how they can mess it up. It's going to be pretty good to watch. It's going to be fun to watch. But the things the two things that I'm like super excited about seeing, which is Ahsoka and the Acolyte, it just seems to me like we're getting kind of a clickbait that and it scares me. It's like you're gonna do Ahsoka like you did Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi, and you're gonna do Acolyte. You done basically told us within the name that this is gonna be something that it's not. Which I'm going to enjoy all of them regardless. I'm going to enjoy watching them because it's Star Wars content. But I just, I'm so excited to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, I'm still excited to see it. I mean, I haven't seen anything that makes me oh, I'm not going to watch the show. I just my expectations are high, but I'm still excited, if that makes sense.
Well, and then somebody said that the writers of the Acolyte, none of them are Star Wars fans, which could be a good thing, as we see Tony Gilroy, he brought in non-Star Wars writers, and they made an excellent story. They actually wrote us a story. So
yeah, but if we're talking about Jedi and Sith, you need to know what you're talking about with Jedi and Sith. Like Andor, all you really needed to know was the political state of the galaxy at that time, and you really had reign to go with Andor. With Jedi, there's so much rules and so much culture and so much power stuff and lore behind Jedi that if you don't know what you're talking about, you're gonna fuck something up.
Yeah, I was listening to the Tony Gilroy interview, and that dude was talking about what's his name? The dude, man, the main character. Well, not the main character, not Andor. The other dude, the old dude. What's his name? My brain ain't working.
Yeah, the Norwegian or
Skarsgård dude.
Yeah, Skarsgård. Thank you.
Yeah, but that's not. I mean, that's the actor that plays him. What's his name in the show? My brain ain't working. Why the hell's my brain not working?
Luthen.
Luthen, yeah.
We suck.
So, Luthen is. So he was talking about, everybody they was asking him about, was it a lightsaber? And he was like, dude, I was in every single part. I know everything that was going on when it came to Luthen and his character. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, the whole shop is full of shit that he shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? Oh. All this Jedi lore shit that's not even freaking canon is in the shop. And you didn't know nothing about none of that shit. So for you to sit back and say that you know everything that possibly could be about Luthen, you're full of shit. Dude, why would you say that? You didn't have no idea what the hell they were doing in that shop. You had Sith artifacts. You had a Jedi temple guard mask. You had, there's all kind of shit in there that you didn't know about. And you talking about, dude, you knew about all this stuff. And it's not a lightsaber. It's just a staff. It's like, dude, I'm not saying it's a lightsaber, and I'm not saying that Luthen is a Jedi or a Sith or any of that. I'm just saying you don't sit back and say that, and you don't know because they put a bunch of shit in there that you had no idea that was even supposed to be in there. That kind of got me a little irritated when I heard him say that shit. I was like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about, man? They put so much shit in there that you didn't know about. The props people was fucking you around left and right. You didn't know shit about it. You know
There was
what I'm
Indiana
saying?
Jones whip in there, like fuck.
Like, dude, like, don't, like, I just hate when people are like, I know everything about everything. And it's like, dude, I understand that you didn't want to go off of the Jedi lore in Andor. I understand that. I understand that you wanted to make the characters in there more having to do with the rebellion and not about Jedi and Sith and all that stuff. I understand all that stuff. But don't sit back and say that you know everything that there was to know about a character and you tried your best to stay away from the lore of the Jedi and the Sith and all that stuff when there was just all kind of artifacts everywhere through Luthen's store.
Right.
Like, it's just not, I just don't see that. Clint, I do agree. So
Going to be a
Jedi
good year.
Survivor comes out tomorrow?
No, the gameplay for it.
Oh, just a gameplay for it?
Yeah, they already have some images, and he looks dope. Cal Kestis looks so cool in the new images.
I got to get a video game system just to play some of the Star Wars games. Like, I got Star Wars games on the Wii, and my son has Star Wars games on his PS4 and his Xbox, and I've never played any of them. I think the last game that I actually played that had to do with Star Wars was like some shit it was like an app on my phone, and you was like I think it was like Rogue Squadron or something. And you flew around on your phone, and you had to like hold your phone and turn and hit the button to shoot and shit. It was like garbage and shit. I just don't play video games.
Right.
That's just. It's just
God,
not what
I
I
gotta
do.
pee so bad. So give me a second.
All right, everybody.
I'm flipping.
Well, go to the bathroom. I'll do all the announcements while you're gone. Okay. So yeah, we got some. I'm worried, but we got some exciting stuff coming. I'll just be happy if we get Star Wars. I don't care what it is at this point, just because I'm just scared that Bob Iger's gonna cancel some of the Star Wars projects that are coming. But got a few announcements. Thank you everybody for going to everybody went on the website and was, doing the quizzes. I got a shit ton of people did the quizzes. That's awesome, man. It was awesome what people, and I know people are Googling. I know they are, because there was some of them answers. I don't even know the damn answers, and I wrote the questions, and they're getting them right. Like, yeah, there ain't no way you knew that shit. But it's fun, and I'm glad everybody's going on there and enjoying themselves and getting the news and the podcast and stuff. And like I said, I'm gonna try to get the store open by the first of the year so everybody can get some merch. I'm kind of trying to work because I'm trying to keep the prices as low as possible. And with all this damn inflation shit, like, I'm looking at what Spreadshirt and some of these different companies are pumping out shirts. Like, I'm not asking nobody to pay $25 for a freaking T-shirt. It's a T-shirt. There ain't no way that it should cost that much. So I'm trying to work with some different companies and try to keep things low as possible for everybody. Like, even if we don't make no money, I'm cool with that. I'm not worried about making money. I just want people to get some cool shirts, and the other stuff, because I know they got stickers and shit like that. There will be more quizzes coming out. Going to be some changes over the next couple weeks because we're trying to get some of the new projects out. If you went to the website, you've seen the Who's Who in Star Wars is definitely we're trying to get that ready. We're trying to get that coming out, plus the Star Wars in 10 coming out too. That's just going to be like news and rumors. It's going to be just a 10-minute talk show about news and rumors. It'll probably be on YouTube and on the other stuff, on the podcast platforms. So we're trying to get that stuff out. So we're going to be working on that stuff. So we're going to be actually taking a break from Wednesdays until the end of the year. So we're only going to be doing the Saturday shows for at least just until the end of the year. So I know that kind of sucks.
Right. Once Bad Batch gets started back up, we'll have our Wednesday episodes. So we're not abandoning y'all. We're just
getting ready to, we're just taking a break on the Wednesday show because, dude got wife. They're over here talking about going shopping, which we don't want to do. And then we got all this other stuff that we're trying to get ready. We're trying to just get a bunch of new content coming out for you guys to enjoy. I know Who's Who in Star Wars is going to be great because basically we're just going to be going over the characters. So we're definitely trying to get that going. We got Star Wars in 10 is coming. So Wednesdays, and you got to think about it, it's only going to be for, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 14th, 21st, and 28th, and then the 4th we'll be back. So it's just 3 weeks that we're not going to do a Wednesday show. We're just going to do a Saturday show. So just so we got to get caught up on some stuff. And we got stuff that we want to get out to you guys. We want to get stuff done, and I'm literally working on like 3 hours of sleep a day. We need to get more sleep. And that's with everybody we got working. I got everybody's ripping and running and doing everything and trying to get everything done, and the whole crew. Lindsay is just, oh man, she's working her ass off trying to get stuff done for us. Like tonight, CJ couldn't get here tonight, because he's working, and it's just, we just want to give you guys the best content that we can give you and the most up-to-date and accurate content that we can. And we want to come out with new stuff that you guys can enjoy. So we got to take, and we've been at this for a year and a half now. We've been running Lightsaber Radio.
I think so.
And we haven't took no break. I mean, we've been on top of it. When we first came out, I think the first 18 episodes we only did on Saturday. It might have been more than 18.
I think it was a little bit more than that, but once we started Saturdays, we did Saturdays for.
Yeah, we have.
I think it was when Bad Batch started, is when we started doing Wednesday episodes.
Yeah, so we've been because remember when Bad Batch came out last time, it was on Fridays.
Oh,
but I think we were already doing the Wednesday show before then.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember neither. But anyway. Plus, it's just a holiday, so, we got all this family shit and trying to get everything. We're just getting swamped, and we need a extra day to do stuff. So, but it's only going to be for 3 weeks. After the 3 weeks is up, we'll be right back on Wednesday. When the Bad Batch comes out, we're going to be here talking every Wednesday. And then when the Bad Batch is up, we should be in the Mandalorian by then, because I don't know how long Bad Batch is running for. Let's see, 15... Is it 14 or 15 weeks, maybe 16 weeks? I didn't look to see what it was, so I'm not quite sure. But once the Bad Batch gets going, we'll be back. So January 4th, we'll be back on Wednesdays. And starting, hopefully, if everything goes right, hopefully right after the first of the year, both the new things. So it's going into March, Lenny. So if it's going into March, then it should just literally go Bad Batch right into Mandalorian, because Mandalorian comes out March 4th, right? January 18th is... January 18th is Bad Batch, right? And then March 4th is Andor. I mean, not Andor, but Mandalorian. Let me double check that.
Mando Season 3 is March 1st.
So March 1st.
March 1st. And
Bad Batch is the 18th, right? January 18th.
January 4th.
January 4th.
That's the Wednesday episode we're coming back.
Yeah, that's the Wednesday episode that we'll be coming back to. So, where'd I get the 18th? Where did I keep getting this 18th number?
Bro, I don't know.
Didn't I tell you that the Bad Batch was coming on 18th 2 weeks ago? I don't know why I got this 18 number stuck in my head. For some reason, 18 is just stuck in my freaking head. But anyway, we'll be back on January 4th on Wednesdays. We'll do the Wednesday shows. And then hopefully in the first quarter of next year, we'll have Who's coming out and Star Wars in 10 coming out. So, and then I'm going to be doing a podcast with my oldest son. It's not going to be Star Wars based, but it is going to be how to live better, some of the things that you can do to make extra money, some different business techniques and stuff like that. My oldest son is brilliant when it comes to this shit. He's on top of it. So he wanted to do a podcast. So that's going to be something that's coming out. Like I said, it's not Star Wars based, but it'll be definitely something that you could check out just to help you. We're going to be talking about, eating healthier, doing healthier stuff, because he helps me a lot with me having MS. He tells me a lot of information, because this boy I couldn't get him to read in high school. He barely graduated. Now this boy reads 2 books a week. And he reads a lot of stuff on success and successful business. stuff, business adventures. Like he got like 5 businesses running right now. He's like making 10 times more amount of money than I am. Like, which I'm happy for him, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, why I didn't know all this shit when I was young. But yeah, he's doing a bunch of stuff. So he wants to start a podcast doing that. So that's going to be a part of the Swaycast network, even though it's not Star Wars based, because Swaycast is just about creatives coming together and doing creative stuff. But since everything else is Star Wars, it had to be Sway. It had to be Sway.
Of course.
There will be new quizzes coming out. I'm trying to do a quiz a week at least, maybe 2 on the podcast. I mean, on the website. So that's going to be coming. And we got a lot of stuff going on. Like we're trying to build like a giant thing. Man, dude, this is just so much fun. So if anybody else wants to get in on anything or wants to, has any ideas about some Star Wars podcasts, let us know. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to build just a giant network of people working together to just dominate the podcast industry. So any ideas you guys have it doesn't necessarily have to be Star Wars, hit me up and I'll definitely work with you guys and help you guys out and getting anything that you want to get started. Because this is just so much fun for us. So, and we want to give back to the community as much as possible. What's going on, Dion? I didn't even see you in there. Oh,
he cried when we said we're.
Oh yeah, we wasn't
Wednesdays.
coming back on. It's only for a couple weeks, just so we can get caught up on everything.
Yeah,
and
we're good, and we're still gonna have Saturdays, so we'll see you guys on Saturday.
Saturday, and we'll probably. I don't know if we'll run longer shows on Saturday. It just kind of depends on what happens, but like I said, we're just trying to get everything incorporated and everything going, so we come out real strong and give as much content out as we can next year. Because 2023 is going to be an awesome year for Star Wars. It's going to be an awesome year for Swaycast Network and the things that we're trying to do, just to make the entire Star Wars community better and just the entire world better if we can. We just want to make people happy. So, Clint, you said 25 is reasonable. I think, Kay. $25 is a lot for a T-shirt. Like, I understand inflation because
What do you
I
mean
was
25
thinking
for a T-shirt? What are you talking about?
what?
What are you talking about 25 for a T-shirt?
Because one of the reasons I was trying to have the store open before December 25th.
I'm sorry.
So before Christmas, so people could order stuff for their friends and family and stuff for Christmas. But with inflation and the cost of everything like going up, like I've been looking at like Spreadshirt. I really like Spreadshirt because they offer so much. You just basically put the design on there and they put it on a coffee cup, a T-shirt, sweatshirt, stickers, all kind of different stuff. So it's really easy. But they don't went up on their prices. So then I looked at I think the other one was Red Shirt or Red something, and they went up on their prices. So then I looked at a couple more, and I'm like, dude, everybody's going up on their prices. I'm not trying to get, charge somebody $25 for a T-shirt. It's a fucking T-shirt, man. I can go to Walmart and buy a T-shirt for $10. Why am I going to buy a T-shirt for $25? If I would,
you got to think, if it's got Sway on it or Lightsaber Radio on it, that's a premium. That's a $50 T-shirt.
I still don't like. I don't like that. Like I said, even if we don't make no money, I'm trying to cut the prices as low as possible because I want people to be able to afford it. If I wouldn't go on there and buy it, I don't expect anybody else to do it. And I'm not paying $25 for a T-shirt. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can go to Kohl's and buy you can buy 3 T-shirts or what is it? 2 for $20. Star Wars T. That's why I got this Star Wars T-shirt. I got it at Kohl's. It was 2 for $20. I'm not charging nobody. I don't care what it says on it. $25. That's just expensive. That's too damn much. And I understand inflation. And every time we think that the prices might go down on stuff, now the damn train people are on strike. So now prices gonna be going up again because like 90% of the shit that's transported around the United States is done on train. So it's like, I'm trying to keep the price. I want people to be able to afford stuff. So I got to find somebody that's going to do quality stuff and they're going to do it as a reasonable price. Because if they're not, you're not, especially because I don't know the contents of their shirts. You're going to buy some Fruit of the Loom shirts, you're getting 10 for, you're ordering that shit from China or whatever, you're getting 100 shirts for $20. Just, you literally slap the fucking sticker on the front of it that they iron on there, and you charging somebody $25 for that? That's outrageous. You know, I know we're the outrageous show, but I ain't trying to have nobody pay outrageous price and get robbed. If I wouldn't buy it, I'm not going to sell it to nobody else. That's just how I look at it. If I wouldn't buy it myself, I'm not going to charge nobody that. There's no way I'm paying. I don't give a fuck. That shit says Lightsaber Radio, Sway Cast, all that shit on one shirt. I still ain't paying $25 for it, and it's my damn company. So if I wouldn't do it, I'm not charging anybody else to do it. I won't do it. It's just, that's not who I am. I want things to be affordable. I want people to, I don't want somebody to buy something and feel like they got robbed. Because if I bought a $25 t-shirt, I'm going to feel like I got robbed. Like I just got robbed. So I'm not
Kyle
charging
loves
that
you guys.
shit.
I hope you know that.
I don't agree.
Because I'm up here expecting to charge $50 a t-shirt. I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
It's just, you know, I want quality quality stuff. I want, just like we come on here, we try our best to, you know, let everybody enjoy the show. We don't come on here and half-ass do a show. We come on here and we talk about the things that interest the people that are listening. That's why we get views. Yeah. If we came on here and said crap, we wouldn't get no views. If we were just...
I mean, we mix in crap, too.
Yeah, we do mix in crap.
We talk about bullshit, but...
You know, we come on, we try to put on a quality show. I want people to put on a quality shirt. And I want people, we don't charge anybody to come watch us on this. Why would I charge anybody to buy a shirt that's crap?
I like what Chris says. With every t-shirt they sell, Kyle helps fund a child's tuition to the Imperial Academy.
Yeah, I would. You know, my biggest thing is...
Or underprivileged Twi'leks.
I'm trying to do, you know what I'm saying, shit, like we want to go do a live show from Galaxy's Edge. I know we have to make money to do that. I know that. I want to do, you know, I want to do giveaways. I know we have to make money to do that. You know, I want to give away. I want somebody to come with us. Like, bring your family, come with us to Galaxy's Edge. We can all chill together. Like, that'll be a great thing to do for fans. I know it takes money to do that, but I'm not going to rob nobody to be able to do those things. That's not who I am.
Right.
Because I've been that person that's got robbed before, that thought this was going to be some big thing, and I spent all this money and everything, and then it was like, dude, this is crap. I hate that. Like, dude, I got so many freaking microphones that are just crap that I paid way overpriced for, and you think it's going to be this good thing because people go online and they do these reviews and they say how good this stuff is. Oh, this is the greatest microphone ever. Then you buy it and it's a piece of shit. Like, dude, this thing is crap, man. It sounds like crap. You know what I'm saying? And I done wasted my money. I got so much equipment and so much stuff that I bought because I listen to other people because I'm thinking, oh man, these people care. You know what I'm saying? These people really care. You know, they're trying to help people out, and then you buy some crap shit, and I'm not going to be that person. That was one thing I've always said. I'm never going to be that person. Because that shit pisses me off. I want to go find them people and punch their ass in the face. Like, dude, you let maybe buy this piece of shit for $60. This thing's a crap, and it crackles every time you talk.
Kyle is not a sellout, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude,
Kyle's
I just don't...
He stays true to his
when people do that.
He remembers the homies.
Dude, this is the thing, and I've been saying this since the whole beginning of the pandemic. The world is lacking compassion. People don't care about their fellow human beings. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's out for themselves. Everybody's trying to get rich off everybody else, and that's what the problem with the world is. The whole problem is nobody cares no more, and I refuse to fall into that damn trap of not caring. If you don't care about people, you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to care about other people. You got to care about their feelings, which I don't always care about their feelings because some people are just assholes and say fucked up shit. Yeah. But, you know what I'm saying? I want the Star Wars community, especially the Star Wars community, to be a community of people that can always depend on each other, can always come to each other's aid, can always sit back And, you know, I'm one of the people that I probably get robbed all the time because I'll see a GoFundMe, for somebody that's a Star
For a
Wars
Nigerian
fan,
prince.
and I'll throw,
likes Star Wars.
I'll throw them some money because, it's just the right thing to do. That's what our community should do. Nobody in our community should ever be hurting or ever be bad.
Carl,
it shouldn't be that.
I love that the guy who always claims I'd be a fucking Sith is the guy preaching we need to help people and like give money to people.
It's just, I've always loved the Sith. I love the fact of, power, but I always appreciated the Jedi's. They're selfless.
You'd be a gray. Every once in a while that heart would kick in. You'd be a nice guy.
I would technically I'd probably be like a gray. I'd be a balanced person. Like,
Yeah.
that's who I would really be. But my character is Darth Sway. That's the character that I built for the community. Something that I could share with, something I could create stories off of. Go on my Instagram and look at the Instagram and just look at the background story of Darth Sway. It's just fun. And that's what Star Wars is about. Star Wars is about your imagination. That's all it's about. And a lot of people and I do it too. I ain't gonna sit back and say I don't do it. But I do,
Right.
because we all sit back and we bitch a little bit about things that go on in Star Wars. But it's really just about taking you out of the moment of this world and letting you use that childhood imagination to be something and to go away from all the problems. The world ain't shit but problems. Life is nothing but a giant ass problem. You wake up in the morning, it's a freaking problem. You know what I'm saying? You start off your day, you go downstairs, there ain't no damn sugar. You can't have coffee. There ain't no coffee. It's just every day is something. It's just problem after problem. And for that little bit of time that you get that moment, you know what I'm saying? That moment that you get to step away and watch some Star Wars, no matter if it's 30 minutes or 6 hours that you get to watch or a whole day, that you're free at that moment. You don't have to worry about that. You can use your imagination. You can place yourself there. That's what makes Star Wars so great. How many times have you grabbed a lightsaber and just acted like a Jedi or a Sith and sword fighted with the air and made lightsabers with a stick? You know what I'm saying? How many of us when we were younger, because we didn't have a lightsaber, just grabbed a stick and played like we were Jedi or we were Sith? We used our imagination. And that's the one thing that I think that causes a lot of people my age, 45 plus, they lose that. A lot of people lose that when they start getting older. It's all about paying bills and being an adult and being responsible. They lose that childhood imagination and makes this world so much fun. And that's what Star Wars was always about. Put in your place. You could relate to being Luke Skywalker. That hope of betterness. And if we don't hope this world can get better, then it's just going to keep getting worse. We got to have hope, man. We got to work together. We got to have hope. And that's why one of the things that I hate when I see the community arguing about shit that shouldn't even be argued about. Like, it's okay to have a different opinion. It's okay not to like something. We got enough Star Wars that you can like a whole bunch of it and still be a Star Wars fan. That's one of the biggest things that pisses me off. I hate when people say, you're not a Star Wars fan because you didn't like Book of Boba Fett. What? Like, when did you have to like everything to be a fan of something?
Yep.
Like,
you're not a Star Wars fan if you didn't like Andor. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I have this belief that the world could be a better place, and I always had the belief that Star Wars could be one of the things that make it happen. If the whole Star Wars community could all come together and work together and support each other and be part, and we could show the rest of the world, like, dude, you can do that, then it might get rid of some of this tension that we have, all this racial tension.
We got so much tension.
Like, there's just tension. It's just so much bad shit is happening in the planet.
Our whole country just needs a deep tissue.
It's not even just our country, it's the whole freaking world.
That's true.
Like, dude, you got fucking Russia is attacking Ukraine. Like, dude, what the fuck? We just got done fucking kicking the shit out of Saudi Arabia and then just leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Iraq or wherever the last place. Like, why are we still doing wars? Like, who the hell, a war? What the fuck is that shit? Like, haven't we learned that shit don't ever solve anything? Like, how many wars that we've been in that didn't do shit? Like, we was in Korea War, didn't do shit. Vietnam War, didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? Iraq War, didn't do shit. Like, all these fucking wars and nothing ever happens. We blow up a bunch of shit, then we go rebuild it, and then the people have, you know, better. Like, we could have just went over there and rebuilt it in the first place. Didn't nobody even have to die. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all we do. Russia's attacking Ukraine. If Russia ever decides to stop, then they go rebuild Ukraine. They have to pay for that shit. Like, they could have just went and did that. I guess it's easier to blow some shit up than use a bulldozer to fucking knock it down. You know what I'm saying? And rebuild it better. But
all right.
it's just, I don't know. It's just, I just know the world could be better. And I hope that within the Star Wars community, we can show that we can be better too. And I think that, yeah, we was talking about that earlier,
Yeah.
Lenny.
I'm excited for Bo-Katan to be a villain.
But I don't, like I said, she's like the antagonist, but I don't know if she's a villain. I think she's more just trying to unite.
Yeah, I think it's more situational. Like, I don't think she's necessarily bad. She just
wants to get that dark saber
Yeah,
so
she wants
she
it
can
for herself.
reunite the Mandalorians.
But I think she's willing to do bad things in order to get it. So,
Oh, you know she is.
yeah. So,
But
all right. Well,
all right, guys.
think that's
Like
it
I
for
said,
tonight.
we'll see you guys Saturday. We'll talk more on Saturday because
For
we
sure.
actually went longer than we I got on a rant. I'm sorry.
we got to be good to people, and we cannot sell expensive T-shirts. That's the moral of the story.
Care about Eric. I want everybody all on the show. Tell one other Star Wars fan in one of the social medias, whichever one you prefer. Go on there and tell them, you know, just put a post out saying,
love
I
you.
want to say thank God for or you don't have to say thank God because you might not believe in God or whatever. Just say something nice to some other Star Wars fans, even if they're dicks. Just say something nice anyway.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate
Even
that
though
you're a
you-
Star Wars fan. I
Even though
appreciate
you don't
your
like
opinion.
Andor, I still appreciate you.
If you don't like Andor, you should go in the bathroom and smack yourself. No, joking.
Just kidding.
All right, guys. We will see you guys Saturday. Stay outrageous, and may the Force be with you.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. Lightsaber Radio is produced by Pickfilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Garrison Turcotte, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.